Okay, so I'm going to show you how to stitch the bear or dog, depending on how you look at it, pocket pal, the pig pocket pal, and the plain pocket pal. This one has a gusset. The pig and the bear are just flat, and both are stitched the same, so they will actually share one video tutorial. This one is stitched a little bit differently, so I will do this one separately. Hi, I'm Jennifer with True North Leatherworks, and I am here to show you how to sew our pocket pals. We have 3 different versions. This is the plain one, and then we have a bear or dog, depending on what you want to use it as, and then we also have a pig. So I will go through. The bear and the pig are sewn the same, so I will show how to sew one of these. I will show 2 different viewpoints so that you can have a better view of what I'm doing. And then I will also show how to sew the plain bag because there is a little bit of a difference in how the seam is sewn, so I'll have a separate one for this. Okay, when you open up your pocket pal bag, you will find a piece of leather with snaps already installed. This makes it super easy for you. All you need to do is sew your side seams. And to do that, I have included some thread and a needle with a bit of tape on it so that you don't lose your needle. There's actually 2 pieces of thread here that are loosely looped together. You loosen the loop, and you'll see that you have 2 pieces, and that is 1 for each side of your pocket pal. Just rip the tape off. You're ready to go. You'll start off by threading your needle. These needles do have large eyes, so they should be fairly easy to thread. And then to keep your thread on your needle, you want to poke the point of the needle through the thread twice and then scooch it down. And that will lock your thread on your needle on your thread so it doesn't fall off. You're going to fold it in half. If you want to snap it shut to fold it in half, you can do that. Here, there's pre-punched holes. I'm going to start at the top on the back side. And I am going to find the top hole on the front side. Make sure that's the top one. Yep. Okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail there, and then I am just going to go in and out through each set of holes. Oops, and that's a little shorter than I want it. So I'll just pull that back and then go through the next set of holes. This is just a simple running stitch, in and out, in and out. Make sure that you're pulling it snugly so that it's not super loose with extra threads looping around. You want to make sure that you have a nice tight seam, but don't pull too tightly so that your leather puckers, because that won't look as nice. You're just going to work your way down the side, in and out, in and out. These are larger needles, which makes them easier to hold, but also makes it a little bit more challenging to wiggle through some of these tight holes. So you just may have to wiggle back and forth. If you need to, feel free to grab a pair of pliers and gently pull on your needle. Just be careful that you don't pull too vigorously and break your needle. Okay, I'm just about done with this row of stitches. I'm almost to the bottom. Go one more there, one more there. And also make sure that you're not crisscrossing randomly across. Make sure you're always going in and out on the same side. Okay, so now I'm at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that as I work my way back up the seam, that I pull my thread snugly and don't let it loosen up. And then I am just going to go back up, in and out, making sure my threads are covering these spots where there wasn't thread before. Now there are different stitches that you could do to make it look different, but we are just going to do this simple running stitch. If you want to learn more, I do offer a Leatherwork 101 course for teens where I send all of the tools and materials that you need to make the practice exercises and projects that go along with the course, and I have video tutorials that walk you through each practice exercise and each project, and we'll go much more in depth in not only stitching but also in how to put your own hardware into your leather, as well as other topics related to leatherworking. So if that sounds interesting to you, I will leave a link in the description below to my Leatherwork 101 course, and you can also feel free to email me with any questions that you have. So if you noticed, I made it to the top and then I back stitched. I went back down a hole, and that just helps lock everything in. Now I'm on the back side. I'm going to trim my threads. Got a little bit left there. Got my trusty lighter on hand. Please ask an adult to help you with this. I don't want to see you getting burned. These could very easily burn you. I'm going to melt my threads, and there we go. So now we have a cute little brown pig with the side seams sewed up, and just a cute little pouch that you can use for whatever you need. And that's our little piggy pocket. Okay, I'm going to show the overhead view on the little doggy or bear, whatever you think it is. It could be either. So I've got my thread. I'm going to unloop. A little bit of a mess there. Okay, so I've got two pieces, so I'm going to set aside one over there. Okay, so I'm going to thread my needle, and then I'm going to take the tip of my needle and poke it through the thread. I'm going to do that twice. And that locks the thread onto the needle. Okay? And then I'm going to start on the back side and find the top hole on both the front and the back. Push my needle through. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail there. And then go down to the next hole in the line. These pre-punched holes make it super easy because you don't have to punch them yourself, but at the same time, they're not always very roomy for your needle, especially since these are larger needles. Okay. So I am just going to work my way down this line of holes. Now I am flipping the leather back and forth so that you can see what I'm doing with going in and out, lining up my holes, but if you don't need to do that, you definitely, if you can sew through your holes without flipping it back and forth, that is completely fine. This is just me trying to make sure you guys can see what it is I'm doing. Okay, we've got one last hole there you can see on either side. And I'm keeping my thread nice and snug. It's not too loose so that it is all loopy, but it's also not so tight that it is bunching up the leather. So now I am going back up the side now, in and out, filling in the spots where there is no thread on the side so that we have a nice line of stitches going up. Now as you do this, make sure that you are going in and out on the same side and that you're not crossing over and going like that. You could do a stitch like that, but I'm not showing you how to do that, and you would need to be consistent with it for it to look nice. And I don't know that your thread is really long enough for that. So we are just doing a simple running stitch up and down. And here we are. Okay, now we're up to this last hole right there. And we're going to hold the tail, go in that hole and out on the front. So we've got that there. I'm going to make sure it's pulled snugly so it's not too loose. And then I'm going to go back down to the second hole and pull my needle through and cut it. Okay, because this is wax thread, we don't need to tie knots necessarily. I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter. Instead, we're going to melt the ends. Please have an adult supervise or do this for you so that you do not get burned, okay? Because this can get very hot. And I definitely have small burns on my fingers from doing this, but you build up calluses over time. Okay, so now we have one side done. So there you have it. You have hopefully stitched your pocket pal, whether it be the bear or dog, whichever you're calling it, or the pig, or the plain one. If you ran into any problems, please feel free to email me at jen@truenorthleatherworks.com. If you are interested in doing more leatherworking, I do have a Leatherwork 101 course. It is a course aimed at teens, but it is also appropriate for adults as well. I send all the tools and materials needed to make the practice exercises and projects in the course, and I have video tutorials that walk you through each lesson showing how to do the practice exercises and the projects. It is an easy way to try a new skill with very little effort on the part of your parents, because everything is provided to you other than a lighter, because it's illegal to send these things through the mail and I could get in trouble for that. Everything else is shipped to you and you don't have to track anything down or wonder if you're getting the right tools or the right materials. If you're interested in learning more about the Leatherwork 101 course, go to www.truenorthleatherworks.school and you can find out more about the course. You can register and start at any time and work through at your own schedule and your own availability. So it's nice and flexible, and it's a great opportunity to learn a new skill. Thanks, and have a great day.